Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's your boy 3Light, and welcome to Boss Rush Island 3. We're going to be starting off with a tack shooter. In this placement, you're just going to shove it as far down into the left as possible. Ignore the fact that there's a bush there, just keep on pushing to the left. Then we're going to be getting up a 001 Spike Factory. This tack shooter spot is luckily going to be enough in order for us to get a 032 Spike Factory very quickly, and by the way, use Striker Jones as your hero. Mob Shredder spikes, of course, should be targeted in such a way so that it can hit the boss balloon without hitting the track too much. My targeting's not necessarily perfect, but it really doesn't matter that much. Up next, we're going to go for a Glaive Ricochet, which is the 300, and then we're getting down a second Spike Factory. We're just going to put this one on automatic, and now that the boss is in range, you can also put the first one on automatic, and then upgrade the Boomerang to a 302 so that we can get double damage. I'm just going to go for a third Spike Factory here. Now, some people, depending on your monkey knowledge, etc., might be dying a little bit earlier, which means that you should probably get the more glaives upgrade earlier, but I'm just going to go for my more glaives after the third Spike Factory. Now we can pretty safely go for a fourth Spike Factory. I mean, nothing's going to get past more glaives, except for the fact that, it keeps on getting shot with these meteors, but that's why I placed down a tack shooter in the bottom left-hand corner. Tack shooter is just the cheapest thing, because occasionally Blastapopoulos shoots at the cheapest thing. Keep on placing more Spike Factories, and then go for a 130 Druid Monkey. This is of course the Druid of the Jungle, with the top cross path for leads. It's going to be able to support a little bit more, and allow us to get up a couple more of these Spike Factories. You're going to see here that I finally placed down our hero, which is Striker Jones. It's a little bit early to be placing him, but the 700 bucks don't really matter that much. He's only helpful in the endgame. Up next, we're going to go for a 030 Hydra Rocket Pods in order to be able to handle all the camos and just fortify our defense further. We're going to go for a final 2 more Moab Shredders. Now, the amount of Moab Shredders doesn't really matter, just kind of fill up the entire area, and ignore the fact that I got long life spikes. That was supposed to be a Moab Shredder. Up next, we're going to be upgrading our Hydra Rocket Pods to a Rocket Storm, and then our Druid to a Jungle's Bounty. Jungle's Bounty is amazing because, well, it doesn't really add anything, but it can be upgraded to a Spirit of the Forest. Spirit of the Forest is able to make a boatload of lives and money per round, and importantly, on this map, it doesn't do half bad boss damage. It's not amazing boss damage, but with the Vine Explosion ability that you should click as soon as possible, it's going to be able to take out almost an entire skull, which is pretty good. Going to help us save for the mad. And of course, the Spirit of the Forest pretty much means you're not going to be able to leak to almost anything in the entire game, especially on this map, because usually there's one vine, but on this map there's like 8 or 16, but yeah, it's going to go pretty crazy. Get up the mad, get it up to Jungle Drums, use the mad ability, and now we're going to go for another village, which is going to be a 204. This guy is of course going to buff the Spirit of the Forest income per round. Not that important, but it is pretty good, and it also buffs the amount of money that it makes from popping balloons itself, and since it's popping all the balloons, it of course just increases the amount of money you get. Then we're going to go for an Overclock, which is going to be buffing up our Mad, of course, because the Mad has these projectiles. They deal 500 damage per hit, very powerful, and if we can make it shoot 66.6% more, that would be lovely. Then we're going to be saving up for the Call to Arms. By the way, if this guide has been helping you out so far, be sure to leave, like, subscribe, and use code YOBOY. That's YOBOY in the BTD6 shop. YouTube decided to be very mean to me and freeze my entire monetization until I get a letter in the mail, which is going to take like a month. So that's very fun. So only way to support me right now is to use code YOBOY in the shop. So just letting y'all know. Hopefully it's not giving you ads though, so maybe it's worth it. Finally, we can afford to get Call to Arms, and don't you worry about Blastapopoulos. He's going to take 3 full laps around the circle, which is giving us plenty of time to make our money back from the Homeland's defense that we're going to be buying later. The rest of the video is sped up to 250% speed, just because it's kind of boring and very slow. We're going to be buying the Homeland defense, and then making sure to use it at the same time as an Overclock and Mad ability. So you just wait for the Mad ability, buy Homeland, use it, overclock the Mad, use the ability. Hope that makes sense. And now we're buying an Energizer so that all of our abilities, which work really powerfully together, can come up much faster. Now we can get down a second Overclock, which is what we are doing so that the Mad can have Overclock pretty much 24/7, and then getting down a 202 village, as well as a 402 spike factory. The spike factory is not really going to do anything yet, but we're kind of out of things to spend money on for now, and we still have one more full loop around the circle. Of course, we're going to be getting super mines eventually, but we are kind of just going to sit here and use our mad ability, which is why we have sped up things so much. Now that the boss is pretty soon going to exit the circle, we can use all of our abilities one last time, and then I believe I do go for a mad ability one more time here at the end, and then about halfway through it I realize it's really not dealing damage, so I sell the mad, get up super mines, get up a Lord of the Abyss right next to the super mines to buff it, make sure I'm overclocking the super mines and using the Homeland's defense, and then I go for a mad right here. Just make sure it's in range of the village, that's the only thing that really matters. Get it matters. God, I'm so funny. But yeah, getting up a super mines is way better than a mad. Just make sure that you are targeting it so they can hit the boss, and then get down a mad, because even if there's something better than the mad, you're going to want to buy the mad too. There's no reason not to. It's going to add a ton of extra damage. The mad will add. Sorry, I have nothing else to say. I have to say really bad puns, otherwise people will click off because they're bored. Be sure you're targeting the super mines and the mad as far to the left as possible now that the boss is coming off the track. And by the way, if your team is kind of slow, or you need to find a better team, or you just want more people to join your team, more skilled people who watch these videos, be sure to join the link in the description. I'm your boy 3Lay. Peace out. Have a great day.